Welcome to Sheriff's Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7. Join us every week as we talk various aspects of law enforcement and how important it is for the citizens and law enforcement to work together. Now join us for another edition of Sheriff Talk on KWN Live and Local TV Channel 7. Well, welcome into this week's edition of Sheriff Talk here on KWN. We welcome a fine group of gentlemen to the program this week. Of course, we got Sheriff Bo Barnett with the Marion County Sheriff's Department. A couple of gentlemen that are actually the first in line, the first defense for everybody in the county, and that's through the 911 system. And Jerry Don Case been on with us before. We welcome you back.
Thank you.
And Jerry Hutchins also with the 911 in Marion County. We got a good show coming up today.
A lot of good information.
Yeah, we're excited. Last week, depending on you watch the show, we had or a couple of weeks ago we've had the EMA directors, 911 directors from Jackson County and then Dade County, and we wanted to follow up with Marion County. This is Severe Weather Awareness Week in a lot of areas across the country.
65 degrees is severe weather.
Yeah, well, that is true. That is true.
Of course, we'll have to get snow next week, the way the weather changes.
Well, depending on when you're watching this, it's probably could be cold because by Thursday morning, I think we're going to be in the mid-20s again. So it's if you don't like the way the weather is around here, we all know it will change for sure. But gentlemen, we want to kind of talk a bit about the 911 system and how it interacts with all the agencies in Marion County. And first, before we get into that, Sheriff, anything going on?
No, it's been fairly quiet. I don't want to bring on bad luck, but it has been fairly quiet last week. So we had a lot of rest over the weekend for drugs, but I guess that's just a common thing every weekend. But all in all, it's been fairly quiet. I
know last week when you were here, y'all were headed over to all three or four counties
we
get together.
We had a large crowd. I think there was 45 officers from probably 6 or 7 different departments. The task force, Lookout Mountain Task Force there had 7 or 8 members. Jackson County Sheriff and some large. Had a good crowd, good discussion, good food.
Well, that's good. I was talking to Sheriff Cross. He said that there's a lot of people there, and y'all kind of divided up in groups and talked a little bit. Couldn't get in that back room, but we
ended up moving back there. But started off, we were separated, but we finally got everybody together.
Did you assign seats? he's always saying, "Hey, I'm going to assign seats where you don't sit beside your same group of people."
I bring my officers down, and there they all sit at the table with themselves. Jackson County sitting over here, and I said, "That ain't what we're here for. Y'all talk every day." I thought I'm going to get a seat chart and put you here and you here, but they all got to talking and swapped a lot of good information.
All right. Well, that sounds good. It's always, to me, that's one of the key successes that y'all have been able to accomplish with all the sheriffs working together, because we all know that crimes go across the state line, and families and all kinds of different things. So that is good. And y'all have that once a quarter, about every 3 months.
About every 3 to 4 months.
All right. Well, this sounds good. We're going to talk about the Marion County 911 system and get some insight on what happens and what all that they do there. That'll be coming up. You stay with us. It's Sheriff Talk, and we're on the air, and we'll have more right after this.
Hungry? How about lunch at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon? Weekdays, Cloud's Pizza serves their delicious hot vegetable bar. How about the best burgers and fries around? And yes, pizza. Make sure to get an order of their famous cheese sticks, homemade with fresh dough and Wisconsin cheese. And don't miss Fish Fry Friday, catfish, hush puppies, and more, all for just $8.99 Friday, 4 p.m. to close. Cloud's Pizza, Alabama Highway 71 in Higdon, 597-3100. Open till 8, Monday through Saturday at Cloud's Pizza.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College wants to help put you to work. Our programs in business, health, industrial, and public service will train you for the jobs available today. GNTC offers schedules in day, evening, and online classes at 5 campus locations with financial aid options too. You are sure to find a career path that works for you with our variety of degrees, diplomas, and certificates available. Visit us in person or on the web at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Your career begins here.
Hi, I'm Randy, the safe guy from Randy's Pawn Shop. You know your gun collection is worth a lot of money. Protect your firearms from fire and theft with a Liberty Safe. We have only the best at Randy's Pawn Shop, and Liberty Safes are top of the line. They use state-of-the-art manufacturing process, giving you a high-quality safe at affordable prices. Liberty offers interior lights and accessory door panels. No wonder Liberty is America's #1 safe manufacturer. Come see me, Randy the safe guy at Randy's Pawn Shop. I'll protect your guns and peace of mind.
A small bank with big service. Citizens Bank and Trust, offering a wide range of services, including online banking. Pay your bills, manage your account anytime, 24 hours a day. Your account balance is only a phone call away as well at 657-1234. Or visit our convenient locations. Lookout Mountain, Georgia, Higdon, Alabama, on our main branch on Highway 11 in Trenton. Citizens Bank and Trust, 657-5678. A community bank that believes in the community. Citizens Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Presents the original Battle of Songs, Saturday, March 5th, 6:30 p.m. at the Memorial Auditorium in Chattanooga, Tennessee, featuring the McCameys, the Primitive Quartet, the Inspirations, and the Greasons. Tickets on sale now at the Sunshine Christian Bookstore in Fort Oglethorpe, at the Memorial Auditorium box office, or by phone at 1-800-514-3849. Paul Belcher presents the original Battle of Songs. For all the details, visit paulbelcherconcerts.com.
Looking for that next new to you ride? Well, Rayburn Cloud at Cloud Auto Sales has just what you're looking for. Check out an 08 VW Passat, 2.0 4-liter turbo, real nice, only $5,995. How about an 04 Ford F-250 Super Duty 4x4, 5.4-liter V8 runs and drives great, only $6,995. Or an 04 Pontiac 5, gets great gas mileage, only $3,995. See Rayburn Cloud today at Cloud Auto Sales, Alabama Highway 71 in Higdon, 597-3273, or like us on Facebook for Cloud Auto Sales.
Join us for the Marion County Messenger in prime time, Monday nights at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, right here on KWN TV. Right now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. We're talking 911 in Marion County this week. We have with us Jerry Don Casey, who was here last year, and also Harry Hutchins, both with the 911 system in Marion County. And, of course, Sheriff Bo Barnett brought these gentlemen over to talk with us a little bit about 911 and the 3-digit access that everybody in Marion County enjoys to be able to have. Tell us a little bit about your history. I know just a little bit. It's the fact that there used to be multiple dispatch centers in the county, and now you've got everything under one roof.
Go ahead. I'll start off. I can talk about this, but when it gets to the technical part, I'll just have to sit here and be quiet because I'm lost. But no, years ago, and I understand a lot of the cities like to have their own dispatch, but economics caught up with them. I mean, we can do it now. All the cities go through the 911 center dispatch, and the cities pay the. We have the building's actually the new building just been open about 3 years. Mm-hmm. We actually 911 built it. It's up to date, nice building. It's really nice. That thing's built style. That's probably the best built building in the county. Yeah. And we wanted to make sure if we had a natural disaster that thing could survive. I mean, we made block walls and poured it full of concrete, and it's just one big solid wall. And like I said, all the other agencies in the county now go through us. And Jerry Don is actually the director of 911, and Jerry Hutchins is over dispatch. The way we set that up is the dispatchers are employees of the sheriff's department, and the 911 furnishes the building and equipment. So it's worked good. We have a good relationship. It's just been saved the city some money, and just worked out and been great. Like I said, years ago, every department had their own dispatch, and then over the years, economics caught up with everybody. We just had to change, and it's one of the few things in the county that have been combined that's worked good.
It's true. Yeah, it has worked really great.
So each one, the cities, I'm sure at different levels, they put money into a fund that operates the entire system?
They all pay an amount to the county to help fund the dispatch, and we do the fire department. How many fire departments? 16? 18 fire departments,
Wow.
EMA, everything, any kind of communications for law enforcement or EMA or anybody starts a dispatch. And
do you do non-emergencies as well as emergency calls
Right.
as well? So if somebody's calling for brush in the roadway, or if they're calling for an ambulance, you're going to flag
We
that
get it
and
all.
put it to different locations wherever
how many
it goes.
calls a year did we receive? It was estimated over 300,000.
I run about 1,000 a day. That's administrative calls and emergency calls.
Wow.
That's what I said. That's what I was telling you when we was off there. I go over there now, and it's the technology. I can't even answer the phone over there now. I'm just lost.
The answering 1,000 calls a day. How many employees do y'all have?
We have 11
that's on shift at one time.
Three.
So there's 3 people.
Well,
already.
what we do, we have 2. We work 12-hour shifts, and we have a third one comes in at 11. We've kind of estimated what we think is our busiest time of the day, and we bring a third one on at 11 o'clock, and they work till 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, normally, historically up to about 1 or 2 o'clock, it's slow. Then after that, it gets busier. So we've adjusted the schedule to try to cover more calls coming in.
So basically 2 24 hours a day, and then 1 to swing
There you go.
second
Correct.
type 12-hour shift for the maximum. The 1,000 calls, I guess, with all the different agencies, have you ever listed how many agencies you actually answer the phone for?
Well, there's 4 of the major cities and 2, probably about 8 different police departments, and then the fire departments. What'd you say? 18, Jerry? 18 departments plus warrants. They keep check on warrants and civil papers and stuff. I mean, it's continuously in there during the daytime. Always phones are ringing, aren't they? It's
Constantly.
It's busy all the time.
Oh, I can imagine if you've got all of that under one roof to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite an undertaking.
And when you walk in now, we put lights up that lets the person know that if the sheriff comes in and he needs to speak with one of the dispatchers, there's 2 lights there. If any of those lights are on, one's the phone, one's the radio. So they know that person, because sometimes you just go in there and start talking to them and not realize that they're on the phone, So that's some things that we had added to, and then we've had to also put in the card readers, so that we know who comes in the door, what door they come in. It even pulls the picture up, so everybody that comes through that door, as far as law enforcement or anybody like that, they have a card. So
Well, security for itself, is really utmost, because if someone is going to try to attack somewhere, they're going to try to get to communications. That's the first line. So sounds like y'all have really implemented a lot of things to make sure that building is one of the most securest in the whole
Yeah, we
county.
just put up concrete pillars out front last week, just in case somebody went crazy and tried to drive through the building. I mean, we do worry about security, and put those up last week. Also, we have a mobile command center around back. If something was to happen, we could pull that thing out and hook it up and still be in dispatching business. What, about 20 minutes, Jerry? Don't let me put words in your mouth.
yeah, that's about right.
I'm just
20, 30
guessing.
minutes set it up.
But we have that thing is ready to go. It's equipped and ready to go. So, doing good.
cameras, I guess there's, what are you looking at? 3, 6, 9, 18, 19 cameras or so, roughly, different areas.
So you can look at different areas of the county from the
Actually, we
911
can.
center. Okay, from the 911 center.
Plus, they put a security system up at the courthouse, and we monitor it.
Well,
Just about a month ago.
Something like that.
We monitored the courthouse and the Justice Center, some intersections we got, and they're putting in quite a few on the interstate to we're fixing to get.
I know the TDOT system is especially with the cameras in the
it's getting better every week.
Oh man, it's we run a lot of those on our morning show. We have access to the actual live video cameras, and it's amazing to be able to watch, and you can actually see where the traffic's slowing down, the wrecks in a lot of cases, and that's been a great addition, for us. And I'm glad to see Marion County is going to be able to get some of those that I guess will extend the TDOT coverage out into the county.
Plus, all the patrol cars are, I guess, about all of them are on GPS systems now. So
that works well.
That's great.
We actually have the technology there in the department to keep up with the cars. Because
you'll be able to, on your CAD, be able to see where the closest car is, where you can give them the
They're
call.
all GPSed.
That's very good when it comes to cutting down response
That's one of the better
times.
things we've done.
Is not have to ask what's your location, or somebody, whoever's closer to Powell's Crossroads or whatever.
How good the technology is several months ago we had a car, I think it was in Nashville, somewhere trying to pick up an inmate, and they couldn't find it, and they called back dispatch, and they was able to track them on GPS and give them exact location where to go.
I can see where you get lost in Nashville.
Yeah.
I get lost driving through it, don't you?
I heard that. Exactly right. That is for sure. Well, the technology has really changed. And before we get off on this, so you got all the fire departments, you got all the public works, you got all the city, you got all the county. Ambulance service, do you do Puckett's ambulance, or do you get the first call and then transfer?
Puckett, yeah.
Yes.
So you take the initial 911 call, the 3-digit access, and when somebody says, I need an ambulance, you stay on the line with them and send them directly to the
Correct.
But we still
dispatch.
have communications with them, right?
Yes.
So a lot of times
Yes.
they'll need something quick there, and they'll go through dispatch going through, because they're actually still dispatched out of Atlanta, right?
Actually, they're doing Chattanooga right now.
Chattanooga,
Yeah.
It was.
Well, with Puckett EMS, and maybe one of these days we can get some of their representatives to come over, because we have a lot of ties now. Because Dade County has their ambulance service, Walker County is now, which is just to the east of here, and Marion County, and then they've
Plus
got
they have
sections
Sequatchie County,
in
too.
Sequatchie County. So they're becoming a regional provider, and which gives you access to more ambulances. And because I hear all the time, and anybody listening is probably, if they listen for the scanner, you hear all the time where they've moved from to Jasper to the state line, or vice versa, going to go cover Marion.
Staging in different areas.
Yeah, so you hear that they're all the time moving, and the different staging areas.
That's been a good relationship.
It has. Yes. It has.
Very few complaints I hear about the ambulance service now, and it's worked out good.
And before I came 911 director, I worked on the ambulance, so I like that side of it. And talking about those GPS, getting back to those right fast too. The thing about that is we can pull up the history. If the sheriff wants to see a history on a car, he can pull the history up on that car for that last shift or a week ago or whatever. It even gives, everywhere they went, when they stopped, how long they stopped.
Well, that's a safety issue. Now, a lot of officers probably at first probably didn't like that.
They thought Big Brother was watching.
But guess what? That's more of a security for them.
Exactly.
Where if you can tell where they're at all times. If something wants to happen to you, that car hasn't moved in a certain period of time, and it's such a safety.
When we first started the program, some of them didn't like it because they thought. And I told them, I said, I got more things to do than sit there and watch you. I trust you. I said, we're doing it for your safety. We're not, and it also helps dispatch by. They pull a screen up and they know where all the cars are at, and it's a good tool.
Yes, it's very good.
And 911 actually pays for that service for the county, the cities. If the cities want to get in it, all they have to do is pay $100 one-time fee to get that GPS put in, and then 911 pays that bill every month. So it's not on the cities or the county, to do that. So the 911 board chose to pay for that fee.
Do you have a different type of way of funding? I know a lot of cities and counties, pay into a fund to be able to fund the 911, but they also, I know that you get telephone 911 fees
That
to
is
help operate.
We get 911 is strictly funded by the revenue off of cell phones and landlines. Landlines are going away really fast. Pretty much cell phones. In the past year, the state has, we have a board that's over the 911. It's called the Tennessee Emergency Communications Board. And what they have done over the last year is they've come in and give us a X amount of dollars instead of saying, well, we're going, how many cell phones are we going to have this year? How many landlines are we going to have? It was always a guessing game of hopefully people buy more cell phones or whatever. But when people were buying more cell phones, then they were doing away with landlines. So our revenue was up and down. The state has come in and said, we're going to give you X amount of dollars per year, which in our county, it was a big plus for us because it was more revenue for us. And now when we go in and set the budget, we know how much money we have. It's not like, well, we hope we're going to have this and this and this. We know we got this dollar amount, so we can go in. It's much easier to do the budget now.
Well, that is great
Yeah.
to be able to not have to worry about, having to go ask the property owners and,
Yeah.
to implement some other kind of tax to be able to run it.
One other thing, too, I don't know how some of the other counties do theirs as far as outside of Tennessee, but in where we're at, I do all the mapping and addressing. So I keep the dispatch up to date on any new houses, any new addresses. The picture, if you remodel the front of your building, if you call from here, that dispatch is going to be able to pull this building up and see a picture of the front of this
We'll
building.
see a picture of the building.
And that building and every house and every business in Marion County.
Dispatch has definitely changed a lot because that's where I started out when I was just out of high school, and I can remember, they would call us, and we were still using, well, it's out past the big oak tree, and take a left out by so and so's old post office or whatever, out by the Avens post office, which is a landmark that people nowadays wouldn't have a clue where it was at unless they grew up here.
Yes.
But a lot of people used to use those old landmarks. You may still get that from time to time.
You do.
But, with the mapping systems and all of this stuff that has come into technology in the last, 20, 30 years has totally changed how you dispatch anybody.
It's amazing how it's
I
changed.
think the last count I had, there was only 3 departments in Tennessee that could pull pictures like we pull.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There's only 2 other agents has that.
I know that Dade County's implemented, and our 911 director, Alex Case. I don't know what it is about all these cases getting into emergency services, but Alex, by the way, is the new mayor of the city of Trenton. He just got elected.
Oh, I seen where he was running. So
yeah, he got elected.
Well, if he's watching, congratulations.
I saw him earlier today and told him y'all were coming over, but
jumped out of the skillet into the fire. Didn't
yeah,
he?
well, he's still got the EMA and the 911 for the county job, but he's got elected for the city, so now he's on the political side.
Well, I'm the vice mayor of Kimball.
Right,
so.
right. I knew that. Hey, the cases y'all are into the politics there. We're talking about the 911 system in Marion County and some of the things that you may or may not know about it, and having a good conversation. We're going to take another break. We'll have more coming up as Sheriff Talk continues all around the tri-state.
Hey, Bart, Aunt Bee don't get around as good as she used to, and she's in need of a lift chair. Why, Andy, you gotta nip it in the bud. Comfort Gallery has catnapper lift chairs in stock with free delivery and setup. Catnapper reclining sofas in leather, designer fabrics, and even camouflage. Catnapper rocker recliners starting at $269. Hey, Andy, I just been over to Comfort Gallery. They also have England sofas by Lazy Boy. Queen-size pillow top mattress sets now $299. King-size sets just $399. Is that a fact? Surprise, surprise, surprise! They now have free 1-year layaway and 6 months same as cash. And listen up, Andy. For the credit challenge, they now offer no credit check payment plans. Located in Kimball, Tennessee in the Old Hills building. That's Comfort Gallery Mattress and Furniture, open 7 days a week. Y'all go by there and see Gary.
Comfort Gallery, 780 Main Street in Kimball. Free delivery and setup, 90 days same as cash, and easy payment plans. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 6, Saturday 9 to 5, and Sunday 1 to 5. Telephone 423-837-3000. Delivering top-quality primary health care locally. We are Northeast Alabama Health Services. With 7 locations, there's one near you. Scottsboro, Section, North Sand Mountain and Higdon, Skyline, Woodville, Fife, and Fort Payne. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and of course your private insurance. If you're unemployed, low income, or have a high copay or deductible, you may also qualify for a reduced rate office visit as low as $16. Ask about our free medication program, and ladies, you may qualify for a free or reduced rate mammogram. Dental referrals for our patients with tooth removal and fillings for only $15. Putting your health concerns first, we're Northeast Alabama Health Services. A time-tested financial institution equipped with the latest banking technology. The Bank of Dade, with mobile banking to fit your on-the-go lifestyle. Download our latest app today for your iPhone, Android, or tablet to bank on the go. Check your balance, pay bills, make deposits, and keep track of your account anytime and anywhere with the Bank of Dade's smartphone app. Make life easier by using today's most advanced banking technology to your advantage. Call us at 657-6842 or visit on the web at bankofdade.com. Your hometown bank since 1956, the Bank of Dade. Main offices on Highway 11 North in Trenton, and drive-thrus on Highway 11 North and Highway 136 West. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Romans Mobile Homes can help make the dream of home ownership come true. Come by and see our on-the-line selection of manufactured homes, or sit down with us and let us custom design your top-of-the-line constructed manufactured home. With names like Cabco and Clayton, we can design anything from 1 to 6 bedrooms, shingle or metal roof, finished drywall, and more. All our homes come with central heat and air, including a heat pump. Financing available, and prices include delivery and setup. See us today at Romans Mobile Homes, 2019 Highway 136 West, just west of the four-way stop, top of Sand Mountain. 706-657-8807. Romans Mobile Homes.
Dobbins Supermarket, serving the community for over 70 years with fresh-cut meats, fruits and vegetables, and a full line of grocery items. Dobbins is known far and wide for their signature sausage in 4 flavors. At Dobbins Supermarket, you'll find local home folks serving the area's weekly grocery needs. Dobbins Supermarket, Highway 71 in Higdon.
This week's specials at Dobbins include boneless chicken breast, $1.99 a pound, boneless sirloin pork roast, $1.99 a pound, and fresh fryer wings, great for the Super Bowl, just $1.99 a pound. Little Debbie's are only $4 for $5 too. It's all this week at Dobbins Supermarket. You're watching KWN TV, the home of area high school sports. KWN, live and local TV. Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN. We're talking about 911 emergency dispatch centers, primarily in Marion County, and we're pleased to have today, of course, Jerry Hutchins works with the 911, and of course, Jerry Don Case, who also is over the 911 in Marion County. Of course, Sheriff Bo Burnett here with us just about every week. We appreciate him very much coming on and bringing the guys over to talk about it. You just recently, both of y'all just attended a seminar, a 3-day seminar on new technology. And it's just like everything else. 911 has evolved from technology that was antiquated, not too many years ago, but it changes all the time now.
It's unreal how much it changes. And some of the new technology, when we go to these conferences, this winter workshop, we get to see what's the latest and greatest equipment that's out there and how it works. And as we were actually coming over this morning, Jerry and the sheriff was talking about their what is it, jail management? NCIC, I'm sorry. And pretty well everybody's gone to the one that we seen at this conference. I don't know if they've had this, the ones y'all got for several years, hadn't you? Mm-hmm. But you learn a lot out there, and you see a lot of stuff that's just like, wow, that's amazing. How in the world is that stuff? How they ever come up with it, So, and usually you end up with that new piece of equipment down the road, as far as like our recorders, you see we started out with a big,
we used to have the big tape,
in the sheriff's department, a big old reel.
Yeah.
Then they went down to the little DAT tape, then they went to a DVD, and now
it's all digital.
Now it's digital on the machine that lasts for 5 years, so
Even the police radios are digital now. Aren't they? We just bought all new equipment.
Yeah, we changed out all repeater systems.
Yeah.
Are y'all on the regional system? Is that the system that y'all are on?
No,
County?
we've talked about it a little bit. We're not on the regional yet.
I know that Catoosa, Walker, and Dade, Hamilton, maybe Bradley. I'm not real sure. I know that Dade's on that system with.
Now, part of our 800 frequency is
right.
Yeah, we could talk up into Dunlap and different places on the 800. You know,
that's an amazing type system that they've developed. Where if you key up, you can be on a handheld portable and key up and hit a repeater and basically talk from anywhere that you can hit that repeater. Where before you couldn't get too far away. I know that years ago we had we knew our limitations with our portables. There's some places in the county that you couldn't talk to anybody on them. You know, nobody could hear. So.
And what's neat too, as far as the radios, when they key up on those 800s, each radio has its own. Like the sheriff here is 100. He keys up.
IDs.
It know. If he just keys that radio up, it shows who keyed that radio up, you know.
Well, that's another safety feature.
Oh, yeah.
Because he may only have an opportunity to just key that radio.
Yeah.
If he's in trouble or if something must have happened, he knows he can key that radio, and you're going to say that 100 keyed his radio and he hadn't said anything and I can't raise him, then you can go and start looking to find out where they may be. Yeah. Or any
She has emergency alert on there also. There's a button on their radio they can hit.
The orange
that
button.
Alarms.
If the officer comes in and lets you look at his radio or walk,
don't hit the orange
button because it's going to alarm back to dispatch.
Well, the technology is there is a safety for all the responders to be able to do that. This 3-day seminar, did you learn anything that y'all might look at implementing at some point?
Yes, we have. One of them is the NCIC, and.
Now that's the National Crime Information Center.
See, we handle all that, so we're the only agency in the county that has it. Well, I mean, it's just.
You got NCIC. I know in Georgia you got GCIC. Do y'all have TCIC? Do y'all have a Tennessee? Okay, all right. Because I know that Georgia's got the GCIC. I'm assuming y'all had the same thing, which was just in state, and then the national, and a lot of people. I mean, basically that's where you can. Run somebody, nationwide. Let you.
We host for all of our agencies in the county. We do all of them, all their interests. We do any kind of stolen vehicles, wanted persons. We do all the interests for them.
Which is another big task, to be able to, and if you get a hit on somebody, in Wisconsin, then you got to call that agency, and there's a lot of stuff goes on in dispatch.
Plus your validation, a lot of things. Once you enter that one, you're done with it. You're not. 30 days later, I got to validate that again. Then a year from now, I'm having to validate them again.
Well, there's a lot of.
It's continuously. You just don't enter it one time. You're done. It's a monthly validation that you do.
Do you have I know you said you had 12 positions there. Do you have a lot of turnover?
No.
No, I don't.
We don't. We've had basically the same people for years.
That's great. That is good because
every now and then we might lose one and somebody might go patrol or something, but for the last 5 years, it's basically been the same people, Jerry. We just don't have much of a turnover rate at all.
Well, that is good for the county because the longer they're there, the more information they know.
A lot of people don't understand, and Jerry, both of them can talk to this. If you hire somebody new in dispatch, they got to go through all kinds of training. They have to go through NCIC training, and that costs a lot of money and a lot of time, and so it's real helpful to have the same employees all the time.
It takes a good 6 months to really get one trained and get their speed built back up. It's a lengthy process.
I do know, but I can imagine for those of you watching is the fact that you're just calling somebody. They are trained in what they're doing in every aspect because you got to know a little bit about everything. You got to know about law enforcement. You got to know about fire service. You got to know about emergency services, and then you got to know who's going to go pick up.
I tell them they got to be a lawyer, a preacher, a psychiatrist.
That's the truth.
Because you get everything comes through that, no matter what. They're the first person you're going to talk to. So.
And I don't think
water's out over here. You got to figure out where the water
gas is off.
Gas is off. My power's out. Why?
Are they having school tomorrow? Why is my power out? Oh, Lord, yes.
It is. When it snows, the phones. You know, and one other thing, a lot of times you see on TV or something, you know, where they'll say, well, agency dropped 911 calls. Well, a lot of people don't understand. If we have a wreck on the interstate, and y'all jump in here, a lot of times we may get 50 calls on that one wreck. And it comes a point that you have to just kind of ignore that because you've got other things to do. But that's kind of some false information gets out there. They'll do a study and say so many 911 calls were dropped. Yeah, but I mean, we know it's just amazing people that call in. With everybody going up and down the interstate now has a mobile phone, so everybody wants to call 911 when there's a wreck, and actually hinders them after 10 to 15.
About
calls.
2 weeks ago, we had one on the interstate that it was shut down, and one of my lucky days, I had 4 dispatchers all together, and I could still hear the phone ringing in the background, and all 4 of them lit up.
Wow. Well, you know, and that's another thing too. If you're in a area with a cell phone, and this applies to anybody, if I go to Marion County and if I'm over there any length of time and I dial 911 on my cell phone number, it's going to ring into y'all's office.
Mm-hmm. Speaking along that line right there, just, I don't know, it was a couple, probably, I'm going to say 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, they got a 911 call, and when they sent the officer to the house, because they can ping to where that call's coming within 3 to 6 meters, you know. So once the officer got there, the mother or the grandmother, I don't know exactly, had given the grandchild a old cell phone. And she said, oh, it's been disconnected. It's been turned off for years. As long as that battery's up and hot, you can still dial 911. So
even on a phone that doesn't have any service.
Exactly. Correct. You still can use that because back in Marion County 7-8 years ago, they had this program where if women were in need of, maybe they had an order protection, you know, against their ex-husband or boyfriend, whatever it was, they had a program that they were giving out old cell phones, and of course the only person that they could dial was 911. So, hey, take this cell phone, keep it charged up. If you need it for an emergency, dial 911. That way you can get help. So, just because you got an old cell phone, it's been turned off, you can still dial 911 on it.
That's we'll get into the break coming up here in just a second, but explain why, and I'm sure you do this in your jurisdiction because I hear it everywhere. If someone calls 911 and hangs up, they're going to get an officer at their house.
It's much easier for them just to stay on the phone and say, hey, I'm sorry, I misdialed. It's much easier. It's a whole lot less work, but they're afraid they're going to get in trouble. It's a whole lot of work on the dispatch and also on the officer to have to go way out of the way to see what's going on there when there's really nothing, you know. So just stay on the phone and say, hey, I'm sorry I misdialed, you know. And that's
it's a safety issue.
It is.
You know, if somebody, that may be the only chance to dial that 3-digit number, and you have to send somebody to respond to see if there's actually an emergency, if they were just reaching out for help and that's all they could do, or whatever. And a lot of people don't realize that.
The kids don't realize when they're playing on the phone, they dial 911 that we can actually show the location, the house, and everything. And
we'll come.
The abuse of that's kind of down. So we don't have near as many problems as we used to about kids playing on the phone.
And plus the state has passed a law that we can fine them. It's a pretty healthy fine, you know. So it's not near as bad as it used to be. Now the only thing that you might get into every once in a while is people traveling up 24 there, you know, and to occupy the baby or whatever, they may give the child the phone to play with, and then he accidentally dials the number that dials 911, and then you're listening to the whole conversation till they get out of range, you know, and get to another tower. And so you got to be careful there too, because you're tying up a 911 line, even though you're letting your child play, but everything's being recorded what they say, so sometimes it can get kind of interesting.
Well, the only good thing, I guess, from that, be able to listen to it, you know, if there's actually an emergency going on, or if they're just driving down the road and the child's dial the number by mistake.
Yes.
But don't be surprised if you have somebody, if you dial 911, there's going to be somebody to come to your house, and just as a safety precaution. Like that.
I know I had my phone and I'd put it in my pocket on a house fire that we had just back in December, and the chief said, "You've been dialing me. And I'm like, I didn't know I was dialing you, but he said, "Yeah, you called me, I guess 7 or 8 times, Well, sorry about that. I didn't know that. So evidently it calls, sometimes you hit certain buttons, it calls the last person you talk to. So.
All right. Jerry Don Case, 911, and also Jerry Hutchins, with the Marion County 911 system. We're talking about emergency services and things that are available in Marion County, along with Sheriff Bo Barnett. We're going to take another break, and we'll be right back as we continue.
Doing your taxes yourself is just not a good idea, especially with changes in the Affordable Care Act and college tax implications. Nancy Anderton at NL Tax and Bookkeeping has been serving the tri-state area since 1978. Let NL Tax and Bookkeeping use their knowledge and expertise to get you the correct refund fast. Ask about direct deposit and fast returns. NL Tax and Bookkeeping is open 8:30 to 6 Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, and 8:30 to 2 Eastern on Saturday. 500 Alabama Highway 73, 7 miles from downtown Trenton. Call today at 657-4758 or 597-2829. Friend us on Facebook at NL Tax for the latest tax information. HVAC repair and service you can count on from S&S Service Company, a locally owned and operated business that uses high-quality materials on every job. Call on our crews for regular maintenance, minor repairs, and new installations. Spurgeon is a name that's been trusted for decades, so if you need an energy-efficient HVAC system, we've got you covered with Arco Air products. Arco Air and S&S Service Company, enduring performance. S&S is fully licensed and serves the Northeast Alabama and surrounding area. Call 256-632-2500 today for S&S Service Company for your HVAC needs. Online at snsservicecompany.com. When you need a licensed plumber, call Stacy Ledwell and the staff at Mr. Reuter in Scottsboro. Mr. Reuter provides your home or business with advanced solutions using high-tech equipment. Our commitment to customer satisfaction shines through in our personalized service. When you schedule an appointment, our professionals will dedicate time to explain the work that has to be done. Our staff will give you upfront pricing, so you'll know exactly what's involved before any work begins. We even pump septic tanks and do new construction on houses. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, Mr. Reuter in Scottsboro. Call Stacy Ledwell today to set up an appointment at 256-574-4710. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. At 402 North Cedar Avenue in South Pittsburgh, 4765 Main Street in Jasper, and at 14087 Highway 28 in Whitwell. Providing the highest standard of customer services with a personal touch. Our associates can help you with personal loans, personal lines of credit, a variety of mortgage loans, and more. And we offer real-time internet banking too. See us in South Pittsburgh, Jasper, and Whitwell today. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Come enjoy pizza for lunch or dinner in a family atmosphere at Stevie B's Pizza, 2200 Galt Avenue North in Fort Payne. Enjoy the super buffet and salad bar anytime, or have any of our specialty pizzas made to order and delivered right to your table. At Stevie B's in Fort Payne, we make our own dough, assuring you the best possible pizza. Book your parties at Stevie B's in Fort Payne, plus ask about catering and fundraisers too. Call Stevie B's 256-979-1234 and find out more. Great pizza in a family atmosphere. Stevie B's, 2200 Galt Avenue North in Fort Payne.
This is Pastor David Smith, pastor of the New Home Baptist Church in Pisgah, Alabama. We'd like to extend a cordial invitation to worship with us this Sunday at New Home Baptist Church.
All the news about Jackson County with Jackson County's Chamber Chat every Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on KWN TV. Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN. It's been a very interesting conversation talking about 911 and how it relates in all the different agencies in Marion County. Jerry Don Case, of course, been on. Well, y'all both been on before, and I think it's good to go back over and remember all the different things, and remember when you do have to call. Because they answer non-emergency numbers and as well as emergency numbers, is to remember what the dispatcher has to go through. And they may be tied up over here. You may be calling because you want to find out your power's out or your water's not running at full pressure or whatever, so you call. Maybe not the place you need to, but if you do, they may be over here working something as an emergency. And dispatchers and communication officers, if you will, wear a lot of hats.
Well, one thing we did about 10 years ago used to be an automated answering system. And I don't know about y'all, but it just makes me mad. And I call somewhere, and if you said, you don't talk this, punch 1. If you don't talk, punch 3, 4. So we got to go.
Stay on the line because the menu has changed. It changes every day, evidently.
or you had to spell out the last name of the person you want to talk to, and I could never get that right. I mean, I still call those departments now, and you get that. But we people told us they didn't like that. So now when you call, you talk to a real live human being. You don't talk to a machine. Because boy, it aggravates me to have to call and then, like you said, go through that menu and try to. I could never get it right. I just don't. But we're probably one of the few agencies in the state that actually, when you call, you actually talk to a live person. Just about everybody else is going to automation answering system.
Press 2 if you have an emergency.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. I guess, with 1,000 calls a day in Marion County, I mean, we can only imagine what in some of these bigger cities, how many calls that they get every day. And it's and you got 12 dispatchers. So if you know any of them, a lot of you do that are watching, the ones that are.
Well, one of the reasons we changed it would say, if you don't talk dispatch, push 1. If you don't talk to sheriff, push 2. Well, I'd come in on Monday morning, I'd have 40 calls. People, hey, Sheriff, I've got a prowler here. I need an officer to come here. I'm not there, and so that's one of the reasons we had to change it, because a lot of people were thinking nobody showed up, and it's because they sent the call, the automatic answer machine sent the call to my office, and I wasn't there.
Well, probably, a lot of this, times have changed, and people look at it different, but I know our jail, and I'm talking about Dade County now, the sheriff and his family actually lived at the jail, and not too many years ago, about 40 years ago. But one of our ex-county commissioners, dad was Sheriff Blevins, and he grew up there in the jail. Well, even when I was in dispatch back in the 80s, people would still call 1 o'clock in the morning, and they'd say, I need to speak to Sheriff. Well, obviously, Sheriff Street was at home, Phillip was at home, and I said, well, he's not here. Where's he at? Because they thought, people really then thought they still lived there. Said, well, he's not there? He don't live there? Yeah. No, he's at home.
The old jail, the third jail back, the old one that it had on one end was a jail, and then on the other end was where the sheriff lived with his family, and had a porch with a swing on it. And I'm thinking, I can't imagine doing that.
Yeah, they did, and even in the 80s, they felt like the sheriff. Well, he ought to be there. I'm calling that.
Of course, a lot of people that had contact with the jail back 30 years ago, they'll say, "How many people you have in jail?" And I said, "About 140." Oh, we thought you had 10 or 12. And I said, I had 10 or 12 in 30 years. I mean, a lot of people, and they can tell you this, they just don't have a contact with the sheriff's department, and they just don't understand how things are increased over the years. And people really think it's still a Andy Griffith show or whatever, where you have, we don't have Otises anymore that stagger into the jail lockers.
You don't have anybody who's come in and turn themselves in.
I can remember years ago, I'd get off on jail real quick, but we used to do that. We'd have town drunks instead of, we just take them and put them in bed. But I mean, nowadays, with all the new changes, you have to fingerprint them, all that. So, but it's amazing the people that don't realize how much the technology changed over the years.
Well, there's just so much, and probably out of everything, law enforcement has changed, emergency medical services have changed, dispatch has definitely changed, and technology has really been the driving factor.
Yes.
to be able to do that from the days of taking the case cards and writing them out to everything's on the computer, and to be able to pull things up. And you mentioned a while ago, before we get to the end of the program, 17 fire departments. That's a lot of people and a lot of fire departments to be able to keep up with. And now, is this including some of the city fire departments? Or
yes, this city, county. I mean, we were looking. Jerry pulled the calls, just curiosity how many the different departments have run in the past year. I mean, you take, like, there was one fire department had 143, one was 136, one was 86, one was 1 was 2, and then they was 70 to 80 in the other ones. And you figure it totaled up, it was 1,004.
1,004 calls.
Just fire departments. That
in a year?
In a year. Of those roughly 18 fire departments that had calls in a year, along with all your sheriff's calls, your police department, your rescue, everything. I mean, any other call.
How many phone lines come into that building?
I think there's a total of 12 administrative lines, and there's 6 911 trunks now that comes in.
Yeah, and when we first started out, we had
the 4 911 trunks.
Yeah, 4, wasn't it? Yeah, because 2 come out of Nashville, 2 come out of Birmingham. Yeah, 4 911 trunks. So now we're up to 6 911.
That's
trunks.
what we're talking about off the air. In the mechanical room, I open that door and look back there, and it just scares me of all the equipment sitting there blinking. And I thought, what does all this do? It's just amazing.
Yeah, but the way it's set up too, we say, well, we have 6 911 trunks, but let's say those 6 911 trunks are lit up, and you call 911. It's going to send that other call over to one of those administrative lines. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So you really got 18 lines.
So he's not going to get a busy signal.
Right.
The only thing is you're not getting that information,
right,
that's coming up on the screen. So
because once that 911 call comes in, that information automatically comes up on the screen.
Right.
Who's calling, the address, and all
shows you any alley information.
And it pops over to the map, shows a red dot where it's coming from. If it's if it's coming off of a cell phone, it's going to show the tower, and then there's a button that they hit repeat, and then it rebids it, and it shows where that call's coming from. In other words, if we were in Marion County, I don't know how it's working here, but if we was in Marion County right now, and I call 911 from here, it's going to show the nearest tower, okay? And then if that dispatcher wants to know where I'm at, they're going to hit a button, and it's going to repeat, and it's going to give this building. It's going to show where I'm actually
within
at.
just a few feet.
Yeah, within 3 to 6 meters.
Wow.
That's not far. That's 3 to 6 meters.
We've found people in the past by using the phone.
Oh, yeah.
People that were lost out hiking or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It's a good tool.
Mm-hmm.
Good tool.
Well, one thing before we leave the fire department, you're talking about those calls, but from a dispatcher's perspective, you could have 6, 8, 10, 12 radios from one call that are now calling at you. They're going in service, they're going in route, they got different engines, and you got a fire call that you may have 15 or 20 volunteers on.
Oh, yeah.
You got to keep up with all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you figure, what if you had a fire that you had 4 fire departments responding, ambulance service, life force, police, sheriff's department. You can get a lot of people on the scene in just a short period of time.
A lot of radio traffic.
And a lot of traffic.
Do y'all use the command system to cut down your radio traffic once you get on
We
the
do
scene?
some.
It's gotten better over the years.
It was really hard, I know, for everybody to get acclimated to that command system, especially from fire department rescue and EMS side. But it seems to really work now.
It does. It does help.
One thing too, when you're talking on the fire departments, while we're still on it, in Tennessee, if you're with a fire department and you get off of that fire department, even though it's a volunteer fire department, and let's say that, I'll give you an example. We put on 3 new ones in the last city meeting. In one of those guys had been on our fire department for probably 15 years. He come off the fire department. Let's say 6 months later he wants to go back to that fire department, and when he goes back on, he's got to go through a 64-hour training class and to get back on the department. So now there's a class going on, which is 64 hours, that is done like on a Monday nights and a Saturday, and for the people working that wants to be a volunteer fireman, that they can come to this class, and that way they're legally back there, what the state says.
There were some concerns that the state had passed many regulations that we might start losing firemen because
exactly
they were requiring these. And,
Yeah.
and like I said, 100% of them are volunteers,
Yeah.
and a lot of them work, and it was hard for them to get to training, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you figure, what if you had been with the fire department over here in Dade County for 20 years, and you moved to Marion County, and you say, hey, I want to be on the fire department. I'm experienced. I'm 20 years experience. Well, that's fine and dandy, but guess what? You're going to go through this 64-hour training class and you're starting over again, and basically what it's saying.
Even if somebody just a few months out has to start over again. Yeah. Well, that's both good and bad. I mean, obviously you need the training, and you need to go back over it. Jerry Don Case, 911 in Marion County, along with Jerry Hutchins. We appreciate you very much for coming. I think it's good to be able to reacclimate people on the inner workings of what happens. It's not just, hey, I need an ambulance, or I need, I got somebody here that's, I want law enforcement.
When a person
whatever.
picks the phone up and calls 911, they just don't realize how much training and time and money it's cost over the years to get this thing up and running.
That's true. Got 1 minute? Can I say something real fast?
Absolutely.
he put one finger up. First of all, I do want to say thank you for having us.
Oh,
it's very educational, And if there's a dispatcher and some of them want to be called telecommunicators, whatever, I want to say thank you for what you do.
Absolutely.
Your job is very important, and you don't get enough recognition for it. And I do want to say thank you, and also police, fire, EMS. Thank you for what you do.
I always tell young officers to keep their dispatcher happy.
Absolutely. Hey, dispatcher is the first line of defense for that officer. They got to keep them happy.
Very important job.
There it is.
The first responder. Sheriff, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for bringing the guys over.
Show.
Very, very good. We'll see you next week right here. Thanks for watching Sheriff Talk on KWN. You've been watching Sheriff Talk, live from the studios of KWN TV7, all around the tri-state area, as we give you information that you can use concerning law enforcement. Join us again next week for another episode of Sheriff Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7.